Good day, students, and welcome to ECO231 Microeconomics second semester. I will be your lecturer, Mrs. Rochelle Bucas. I'm also the coordinator for the course. My email address is rgbucas@uwc.ac.za. And once again, as I've stated for the ECO235 course, if you need to contact me to consult for any reason, my number has been given for WhatsApp only. Right, my consultation hours in the eCanva chat room is Tuesdays and Thursdays between 11 and 12:30. If you are unable to be present in the chat room during that time, you may contact me and make an appointment either via email or WhatsApp. In terms of the classes, we won't have any specific class time. Instead, I will upload the lecture material and all supporting materials at the start of each week. The lecture material will be asynchronous and we will make use of narrated PowerPoints such as this. The tutors will also create WhatsApp tutorial groups, and these groups will be uploaded to eCanva by Ms. Arnold, and you will see which group you will belong to and your tutor, and they will then provide the cell phone numbers so that you can be added to the specific WhatsApp tutorial group. In terms of the module, this course is of course a continuation from ECO 151, so hence that is a prerequisite in a passing that is a prerequisite in order to enroll in Microeconomics 231, and it intends to provide you with an understanding and knowledge of microeconomic theory. So this is going to include an analysis of consumer behavior, individual and market demand, production theory, the cost of production, profit maximization under perfect competition, and monopoly. In terms of the teaching and learning activities, the three main components will be textbook readings, the asynchronous narrated PowerPoint presentations, and then tutorials. So at the start of each week, I will upload the narrated PowerPoint slides as well as class exercises which I would like students to work through. And then we can discuss both the content as well as the answers to the questions on the Canva platform. And like I said, I will be present in the chat room at stipulated hours. But if you are not able to be present in the chat room with me, please upload your question either before or after, and I will tend to those questions. There are 4 tutorials in total, and all 4 tutorials count towards your continuous assessment mark. So these will be tutorial exercises, which I will upload the questions a week in advance. You will then download the question and work through it with the support and guidance of your tutor. Then you will submit your tutorial for it to be marked. And as mentioned, these tutorial WhatsApp groups will be the platform which you will use to discuss the tutorial questions with your tutor as well as your peers. I need to stress that the prescribed textbook is vitally important. So the prescribed textbook is Pindyck and Rubenfeld. So this is the ninth edition, which was released in 2018. You may obtain the textbook from Van Skyk Bookstore. Unfortunately, our leasing program is not able to run due to us not being able to access campus. So if you are unable to obtain the ninth edition from a bookstore, you could even make use of the 8th edition. But like I said, it is vitally important for microeconomics. You cannot do well in this course without a copy of the textbook. You may find that if you search online, you may find the 8th edition available in PDF online. I am unable, for various ethical and copyright reasons, to distribute that. But the onus is on you to obtain a copy. This is the lecture schedule for the third and the fourth term, right? As stated, we have 12 weeks split into the semester, split into two 6-week terms. So third term starts on the 27th, Monday. For week 1, we will just be doing the general introduction, the course outline, which you should peruse on your own time, but this is what this presentation is for. And then chapter 1 is basically self-study, as it is preliminary basic concepts from first year, such as distinguishing the difference between micro versus macro, what are the various trade-offs in economics, what is a market definition. So these are preliminaries which you will read through. There will not be a narrated PowerPoint for chapter 1. However, the PowerPoints will be uploaded and you may read through that as it is very basic. Then for chapter 2, this is also self-study and revision because it's the basics of supply and demand. However, I will upload a narrated PowerPoint as well as an exercise and the tutorial, which is based on this chapter, on Wednesday. So as you will see, this is the content covered for week 1, and there is no assessment due. Then in week 2, we will begin with chapter 3, which is consumer choice, and this is the new work. So you will see that in week 2, you have your first tutorial due on Friday, the 7th of August, and your first tutorial 1 is on chapter 2, which is the revision and self-study of your basics of supply and demand. So as stated, I will upload the tutorial in this week, as well as the narrated PowerPoints for chapter 2, and you should work through the chapter as well as the tutorial with the support of your tutor for submission on Friday, the 7th of August. Then we continue with the subsequent weeks, working through chapter 3, consumer choice. Then we move on to chapter 4, individual and market demand. And you will see that in week 4, you have your first big assessment, and that is your module test 1. That takes place on Friday, the 21st of August, and all your assessments are online. The scope for that is chapters 1 to 3. So, as mentioned, chapter 1 is very basic concepts. Chapter 2 is just your basics of supply and demand. And then chapter 3 is essentially the new work. So, that is the scope of the test. But prior to that, on Wednesday, the 19th of August, 2 days prior, your submission of tutorial 2 will take place, and that is on chapter 3. So essentially, you would have been exposed to questions ranging from chapter 2 and chapter 3 in preparation for your module test 1. So I urge you to work consistently with your tutors using the WhatsApp tutorial groups to work through the content in preparation for your module test. Then we continue with chapter 4, your individual and market demand, and then we move on to production. So for those of you doing ECO235, the mathematical economics course, you will see that I've tried to align the content done in that course. So when you do consumer choice theory and production, the application using the math would be done in a similar week so that that can support your understanding. And then we will have our week break, and when we return, we continue with the costs of production, chapter 7, and then we move on to profit maximization, and then your analysis of competitive markets and different market structures such as monopoly and monopsony. There are 4 tutorials, so when you return, you will see that in week 7, you will submit tutorial 3 on Wednesday the 16th, and the scope is given. And then the week thereafter, you have module test 2, which covers chapters 4, 6, and 7. right? And that is on Saturday, the 26th of September. Your final tutorial is due on the 7th of October. So please regularly consult this lecture schedule as it provides you with a guide as to what topic is being covered and what are the assessments for which particular week. So this is a breakdown of your continuous assessment, and you only have 4 tutorial exercises. Each are 12.5% and they all count. So that gives you 50%. And then you have 2 module tests and each counts 25%. So that is 100% and that is your continuous assessment mark. In terms of your final mark, it is a split between your coursework and your examination mark. So there is an exam for this course. In terms of the split, I have to await approval from the academic planning of the EMS unit, and then that will be communicated to you. Some general information. Your feedback on assessment will be provided 2 weeks after the assessment was completed and the marking is done. I will upload a general feedback document on Canva, but you will also receive your individual feedback, both from the tutors as well as me. If you are absent from a module test, so remember all your assessments are submitted online. So if you are absent, you still have to provide valid reason and proof as to why you missed your module test. In terms of querying your marks, remember there is a 5-day deadline from when marks are published to query your mark. And then lastly, academic honesty is extremely important. You are working remotely, and it is important that you do not plagiarize, copy, or consult your other peers when completing your tutorials and your assessment. If we suspect any sort of plagiarism or copying, the matter will be referred to our departmental HOD. I thank you for joining this course and I hope that you will enjoy ECO231 Microeconomics. Thank you.